Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Roey Hill-Cohen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the Physician's Oath ceremony of the 24th class of the Medical School for International Health. Allow me to introduce our honored guests, Professor Haynes, Rector of Gurion University of the Negev, Professor Polgado, Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences, Director of the Medical School for International Health, Professor Jotkowitz, Professor Benjamin Tarragon, Associate Director of MSIH, Professor Shimon Glick, Emeritus Dean of the Faculty for Health Sciences, Dr. Luna Avnon, our first-year academic advisor who has been with MSIH from the beginning. And of course, our distinguished guest of honor, alumna of the class of 2009, Dr. Adam Lee Goldstein. Distinguished guests, faculty members, students, family, friends here in Beersheba, as well as those watching live all around the world. Thank you all for honoring us with your presence. I would like to invite Professor Alan Jotkowitz to make his introductory remarks.
Thank you, Roey, and it's really nice seeing everyone tonight. Welcome, Professor Haynes, Professor Polgado, our honest guest speaker, MSIH alumni, Dr. Adam Goldstein, MSIH faculty and staff, families here in person, and those watching online, and most importantly, students of the MSIH class of 2025. Unfortunately, Dr. Quattel, our associate director based in New York, cannot be here tonight, but she asked me to read a message from her. On behalf of the New York office, I would like to welcome you to MSIH and the beginning of a journey that will bring a wealth of experience to you both professionally and personally. I'm sorry that I'm not here with you in person to wish each of you and your family congratulations on this occasion. The New York office is excited to work with you as you become a physician. Congratulations. I would now like to introduce the rector of Gurion University, Professor Hayam, to say a few words. Professor Haynes.
You would have thought that second time round we had this perfected. Okay, so good evening everyone, shalom and welcome. Welcome to one and all, those here physically and those joining us online. Thanks to Hollywood and popular literature, primum non nocere, first, do no harm, is probably the most well-known phrase of the Hippocratic Oath. The only problem with that is that the phrase does not appear in the original, or at least in the earliest surviving version, dating to around 275 AD. I'm a historian, by the way, by training. It is also unclear when the oath was taken, whether at the start of medical studies or at the end, who actually introduced it and for whom. However, whether we swear by Apollo the physician and Asclepius and Hygeia and Panacea and all the gods and goddesses as my witnesses, as in the original, or not, the oath sets out a code of ethical behavior between master and pupil, doctor and patient, a contract to be upheld and lived to. The success of the Medical School for International Health here at Gurion University of the Negev is first and foremost down to the dedication of the administration and teachers who work hard to make this program one of the most prestigious and unique ways of studying medicine. As you well know, this program puts an emphasis on training physicians who will not only be excellent caregivers, who will see the person in front of them and not only the disease, but will also have a strong sense of social responsibility and high ethical standards. I am sure that we will all agree that the best medical treatment should be available to all, whether poor or rich, black or white, and you, the class of 2025, are taking on an enormous challenge and responsibility. The first world is moving in the opposite direction to the one we hope to inculcate in you and encourage you to embrace. And the coronavirus vaccination divide between wealthier and poorer countries, notwithstanding political motivations and the negative effects of social media, is evident. The 21st century, with all its technological advances, places the individual in the center rather than the community, and we tend to judge people first and foremost by their appearance. Our compassion and tolerance for people different from us is constantly challenged by politicians, policymakers, global companies seeking to increase their bottom line, and social media. And success seems to be measured primarily by the size of one's bank account. Here at Gurion University of the Negev, we put great emphasis on working to solve the world's problems, contributing to society in research, teaching, and in outreach far and near. Our students travel to Africa to help alleviate poverty, and researchers try to provide solutions to water scarcity and food shortages through groundbreaking agricultural techniques. The Faculty of Health Sciences, together with Soroka University Medical Center, work continuously to improve health conditions of the Bedouin communities in the Negev. By becoming part of the BGU community, you are embracing our DNA and will become our emissaries, helping us to improve the quality of life on this planet. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, said Lao Tzu. As you embark on your long and arduous journey to become doctors and hopefully make the world a better place, I call on you to remember the words of the famous 12th century Jewish physician and philosopher Maimonides. Keep far from me the delusion that I can accomplish all things. Give me the strength, the will, and the opportunity to amplify my knowledge more and more. Today I can disclose things in my knowledge which yesterday I would not have yet dreamt of, for the art is great, but the human mind presses on untiringly. Also, please remember that the phrase, "first do no harm," I opened my remarks with, does not only refer to your professional engagement with patients, but also to you as physicians. The surest way to make sure you do no harm is primarily to take care of yourselves and find the right balance between work and home. So, I wish you all the best for the coming years of intense study, but I also hope that these years will create deep and long-lasting friendships, great companionship, and aside from all the serious stuff, opportunities for lots of fun. Thank you. And just before I move away from here, I want to apologize that I won't be able to stay for the rest of the ceremony, and wish you all the best for the coming years.
Thank you, Professor Haynes. I would like to invite up Professor Angel Polgado, Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences.
Thanks. So, hi all. So, Hayam, Alan, Ben, Professor Glick, Dr. Goldstein, Leora, which probably you know or learned by now that she is the most important person in school, faculty, families here and online, and above all you, the class of 2025. This is an optimistic view, class of 2025. I like it. So it is an exciting and moving experience for me to address you on this special occasion, the white coat ceremony. I have to say that I am so impressed at all of you. Firstly, leaving the comforts and familiarity of your home environment and countries to study in not the most quiet and similar surroundings to your hometowns. But what many of you have managed to carry on in this year under the corona conditions that are changing almost daily and still you manage to study and thrive is really phenomenal. So you might know that the Arnold Gold Foundation established this white coat ceremony back in 1993 at Columbia University as a way to highlight the importance of humanism in all care of patients. Since then, this ceremony has swept the Western medical world, almost like the corona. What you might not know anyhow is that the late Professor Arnold Gold, the creator of this ceremony, was exposed to the idea of oath at the first year here at the Faculty of Health Sciences back at the early 90s. I think that Professor Glick actually introduced or showed him this idea here. And then he established the white coat oath ceremony back when he came back to Columbia. So we are proud actually to be the source here at the Faculty of Health Sciences of this vision. And indeed, Professor Gold did give the credit to the student oath ceremony at the faculty as the inspiration for his vision of the white coat event. This event, during the early years of the medical school, rather than at the end, has several messages. It wants to imbue the medical students from the early beginnings of the medical education to see themselves, to see yourselves, not just the recipients of teaching, but also as full partners in the process of patient care, self-learning as contributing citizens to the health of the society that you are living in. And indeed, the graduates of Ben Gurion University School of Medicine, the Israeli Students Medicine, and the MSIH have established a unique record of achievements, recognized all over Israel in their outstanding attributes of humanity, empathy, and leadership, in addition to applying the latest medical innovations to the treatment of their patients. This is what we call, dear, the spirit of Beersheba in medical studies. And you, in the future, and the graduates before you, the graduates of the MSIH, are no different. They have extended the wonderful reputation of Ben Gurion University well beyond the borders of Israel by your and their achievements in programs all over the world. So you are and will be our ambassadors. So, thank you, Daniel. The challenge that faces you is how to build on your initial enthusiasm and idealism that you have just now at the beginning of your training and continue it throughout your professional lives without burning out. You are fortunate to be here at the MSIH at having so many outstanding role models, including Leora, with whom you have close personal contact to convince you that one can and should preserve one's initial enthusiasm and idealism throughout one's professional lives. But please remember, as I saw and was impressed for other white coat ceremonies, consider your white coat event as your first step, or at least a primary step, in your pathway to make a difference in this world. To end, this is an exciting day for you. I saw it outside. And as the dean of this faculty, for me as well. I would like to wish you all the best in your studies. I am confident that you will thrive and develop into outstanding physicians, whom myself, or the next dean after me, will be able to address you at your graduation, which will be upon you sooner than you think. Good luck.
Thank you. I would like to call back Professor Jotkowitz.
Thank you, Professor Polgado. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone again to the Physician's Oath ceremony of the MSH class of 2025. This is one of my favorite nights of the year where I have the privilege to address my future colleagues, and my usual subject is talking about the art of medicine, which is beautifully expressed almost 100 years ago by the Harvard physician Dr. Francis Peabody, simply means, the secret of caring for the patient is caring for the patient. And this is a theme of our On Being a Doctor course, and I think Professor Geffen is here with us tonight. And that sacred principle applies wherever you see the patient, whether in the hospital, clinic, community health center, or in the refugee camp. The most basic interaction in medicine is that which occurs in the privacy of the office between the doctor and patient. And caring for patient is the most important aspect of that relationship. And something I learned over my long years of practicing medicine is that one should never underestimate what a simple act of kindness or a sensitive listening ear can make in the life of your patient. To you, it might seem simple, just a nice word, spending a couple of minutes listening to the patient, but believe me, it can make a world of difference to the patient who's sitting in that office to understand that you really care about him or her. But tonight, I want to speak about another side of medicine, the science of medicine. And I define science broadly, whether it's laboratory-based, clinical studies, or the science of epidemiology and public health. That I have to talk about this is really somewhat surprising to me. But from my limited perspective, I see too many critics of the science of medicine in the media, in the laity, and unfortunately even in academia. This is not only an intellectual debate, but a turn from scientific medicine, evidence-based medicine, and best practice medicine can lead directly to the deaths of your patient and poor quality of life. Scientific medicine has eliminated many terrible childhood diseases, decreased maternal mortality, has discovered a treatment for AIDS, and developed a vaccine for COVID, which has the potential to save millions of lives. We not only have a responsibility to be advocates for our patients, but advocates for public health initiatives, treatments, and prevention strategies based on the best evidence and science that could benefit everyone. And as future global health practitioners, we shall also fight to ensure that these almost miraculous advantages of modern medicine are available to all the world's citizens. And of course, the science of medicine is not contradictory or in opposition to the art of medicine, but is complementary and work to create together to create a competent and compassionate physician. Tonight, we celebrate you entering the beautiful profession of medicine, both as empathic caregivers and inquisitive scientists, to give the best care to your future patients, which is part of your physician's oath, which you will take soon. You need to be both a caregiver and a scientist. And now a special medicine to the class. It's been a pleasure getting to know you over the last couple of months. You're a special group of young men and women who, in the midst of a global pandemic, chose to follow your dreams to come to Israel to study medicine. You have showed tremendous resilience, and I have no doubt you will be shining examples of caregivers and scientists. So I just want to end by welcoming you to the greatest profession in the world, medicine. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I will call the names of the students. Students are permitted to ask. They'll come up. I will shake hands with them. They'll proceed to Professor Jotkowitz. He'll shake hands, give them a certificate, and pose for a picture. Okay. Dana Abraham. Nicholas Andre. Congratulations. Zoe Atal. Ta'ir Avnon. Samantha Block. Congratulations. Rebecca Siva. Maor Epstein. Simon Esbit. It's nice to see people's faces for a change. I know it's Talia Feingold. Betsy Giles. Gabrielle Hutchinson. Congratulations. Jack Horton. Rispa Kirui. Lauren Knibbie. Congratulations. Hannah Lehman. Congratulations. Nice applause. Samuel Lehman. If your wife got more applause. Ezra Levy. Their son in the middle. Frederick Madelon. Congratulations. Hayden Matthews. Congratulations. Sydney McGuire. Congratulations. Andre. Congratulations. Brock Murray. Congratulations. Helen Musalan. Congratulations. Amit Perlin. Steffi Pertovsky. I hope I got that right. Akiva Pudel. Nathan Rosenwald. Congratulations. Jacob Silva. Congratulations. Adam Solomon. Esther Suluki. Congratulations. Jamie Varenbuet. Congratulations. Maya Weinrich. Congratulations. Vered Wiesel. Congratulations. Joshua Williams. Congratulations. Jordan Wynn. Congratulations. Anna Zigman. Big applause. Congratulations.
Thank you. The Physician's Oath ceremony, now an annual event at many schools around the world, originated in Israel at Ben Gurion University Medical School in 1974, when the late Professor Moshe Privis, founding dean of the BGU Faculty for Health Sciences, decided that medical students should be sworn in at the beginning rather than at the end of their medical training, as was previously customary. In the tradition established by Professor Previs, students of the first-year class will now take the physician's oath. I call Professor Shimon Glick to the podium. Students, please rise.
Thank you. Actually, I address you by the heading, New Physicians. You stand today in the presence of your teachers of medicine and its precepts. You enter into a covenant with medicine to fulfill its commitments to the best of your ability with wisdom and integrity. That there may be established a generation of physicians motivated actively and dedicated faithfully to aid the suffering human being. This is the covenant into which I enter with you today. You are charged to stand at the side of the suffering individual day and night, at all times and at all hours. You shall protect human life maximally from the mother's womb, and let its welfare ever be your chief concern. You shall help the ill, whether stranger, alien, or citizen of whatever social status. You shall seek to fathom the soul of those who are sick, to restore their spirit through understanding and compassion. Do not be hasty in judgment, but consider your advice carefully, tempering wisdom in the crucible of experience. Be faithful to those who put their trust in you. Do not reveal their secrets, nor act as a gossip. Honor and respect your teachers who have labored to guide you in the path of medicine. Guard the honor of your colleagues zealously, for their honor is your own. Increase wisdom and do not become worn down by the struggle, for wisdom is your life and it has the power to sustain life. Use your wisdom for the health of the public as well, to bring healing to the ills of the community. May the words of this covenant be close and dear to you, articulated clearly and felt deeply that you may carry them out. And you will all respond, Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Professor Glick. I would like to ask Dr. Luna Avnon to please introduce our guest speaker.
Dear friends here and there, to introduce my colleague and my friend, Dr. Adam Goldstein. He finished high school in the United States and came to Israel to spend time on a kibbutz like me, to learn Hebrew and to work. Then he was able to volunteer for the Israeli army as a fighter soldier, even though he was an only child. Then he returned to the United States to do college. In college he did geology and creative writing. While doing geology, he had the chance to spend a semester in Ethiopia. There he volunteered at a clinic with Mother Teresa, a clinic for the dying, and he became acquainted with a friend of ours here at the MSIH, Dr. Richard Holtz, that we also work with and send students there. Being exposed to an underdeserved population with very limited health care prompted Adam to return home and to finish his undergraduate studies while volunteering with youth with Crohn's disease. To prepare for medical school, he spent a year in Mexico where he worked on a pediatric unit in infectious diseases. So as you can see, Adam arrived in Beersheba, in the BDU, the MSIH, with an impressive list of adventures into global health. During medical school here in Beersheba, he was very active in the community and in the school. He even presented a poster at an international conference in Amsterdam on tropical health. He's the only student, I believe, who has been twice on the dean's list. Quite an adventure. So he's a true role model for you. After graduating MSIH, he trained in Israel as a general surgeon in Tel Aviv and Ichilov. And he spent later a year in the United States where he practiced trauma surgery. At the moment, he's at the forefront of a busy emergency room in Tel Aviv area, fighting the hidden epidemic of traffic accidents, as well as being ready at all times should a multiple civilian casualty incident occur. I'm very sure that you're going to hear very interesting things from Adam. He has a lot to tell you. Do enjoy.
Thank you all very much. You can hear me okay? That's very, too much of an introduction. I appreciate it. Not used to wearing a white coat. I don't think I've worn one since I was sitting where you are. But I appreciate letting me borrow one. First of all, thank you all for this opportunity. Professor Allen and Professor Klarfeld, and it's amazing to see Professor Glick here. The entire MSIH staff for reaching out to me. Beersheba, the MSI family, holds a very special place in my heart. It was an amazing time as a student here, something I appreciate and respect and will always be thankful for. And you might not realize it now, but MSIH is a special place and it really does have a good mission and a special mission. So I've been thinking about, what is the best message I can give you all? Something that hopefully sticks with you beyond the next half hour. I thought about all the talks and ceremonies and all the speeches I've heard over the years. What has stuck with my poor memory over the years is when the speech is completely personal with very few walls. So good luck to us all, and here we go. So as you might notice already, I'm not such a big talker. People complain that I talk too softly. I mumble a bit. I've been described a little bit as a loner. It probably doesn't help that I was and am an only child. And I love to operate. I can be in the operating room all day and night easily. You see a problem and you fix it. That's what we do. Or you try to fix it. I'm really in love with what I do. I feel lucky and privileged every day. I'm addicted to my work. I have the fear of God in me that to be the best I can. So whatever injured patient is in front of me will get what he deserves, meaning the absolute highest level of care. I'm also divorced twice. I have 2 children from each ex-wife who are both wonderful moms. 3 years ago when I went to fellowship, the mom of the older daughter returned to LA. So unfortunately an ocean and some land lies between us. You get married a second time and you think you've learned from your past experiences. Won't be involved in the same mistake twice. And then the second time does not work out and you're like, what is going on? What can't I get right? Because it's not clear. It's not as easy for you as taking out a bleeding spleen or an infected appendix. You start going to something called therapy, which is interesting and frustrating. The therapist does not give me the answer, does not tell me what to do, which pisses me off. I want therapy to be like taking out the spleen of a dying patient or appendix. You just do it. But no, she wants me to think and understand, which I'm sure you all know, thinking and understanding are not the strongest characteristics of a surgeon. You will get to surgery soon. So we get to know each other more, and she starts explaining to me how I have no separation between life and work. I have no conception or idea that these are 2 different things. When she said this, I was in shock. I was expected to separate these 2 things. I couldn't understand what she was saying. To me, they were impossible to separate. Not even different aspects of life. Like snot on my kid's face, like blood and other bodily fluids on my bloodstones, or comic genius to Will Ferrell. They just are seen as one. Yet the therapist kept on explaining to me how this is not, it's not healthy. And I just couldn't find any logic or way to agree with her. The opposite. I feel lucky to have something that is work, yet not work to me. Something that I'm passionate about and happen to get paid to do. As much as I've failed at other aspects in life, at least this is what I felt like I've succeeded. I follow something so deep within inside me that at least this yin and yang, this Calvin and Hobbes, this Tango and Cash are working together, and they're at peace and equilibrium with the universe. I tried to explain this to her, how she is completely wrong, amazingly wrong. I showed her a picture and quote I have in my office wall of Dr. Alla Levinska, one of the oldest working surgeons before she recently passed, who, quote, put everything together for me. It was exactly my point. And I quote, "Why is a surgeon to live if not to work?" And even today, I cannot agree that therapist is right, especially in medicine, which all of you have begun to do. You are here to serve, to become the best, the absolute best you can be, so whoever is sitting or lying in front of you will get the absolute best evidence-based, love-based, passion-based care that they can get anywhere in the world. You're here to serve. It does not make a difference if it's a private clinic in Beverly Hills, where the clinic walls are of rubies, gold, and Gandhi. It doesn't make a difference if you are a lowly trauma surgeon in the ghettos of Holon and Yafo. You are here to serve and help the human sitting or lying in front of you and be as best as you can, which is what the patient deserves. And this is not a job. To reach its maximum, it can't be a job. It's a requirement, it's a service, which I believe all of you, all of us, need to be obsessed with. It's an amazing way of life where we are lucky, privileged, where strangers let us into their lives, trust and depend on us within seconds of meeting us, where families trust and depend on us to help their loved ones, sometimes to save the life of the loved ones, and we cannot approach this as a job. And each of us, each of you, as I am, are lucky for this. This does not mean you cannot have amazing families, be an amazing mother, father, partner, dog owner. This does not mean that you cannot have hobbies, be a world-class synchronized swimmer, a ninja warrior, a rock sculpture. I am sure I'm one of the worst in this room at making the balance, but I know each of you can and will find this happiness, this balance, and bloom until the stars together with your loved ones. I may be wrong, and take it how you will, but I think success in life as a physician begins with accepting that this is not a job. And even if at the end of the day, being a physician, hopefully all of you will become surgeons, and at the end of the day, if it's only 11.5% of your life, it's still life and something we should never completely let go of. When you or I leave the walls of the hospital or the clinic, and this is okay, it's more than okay, it's wonderful. So let me end this with a prayer I say to myself every morning during a 2-minute plank. And I'm trying to reach the world record of planking, which I'm not too far off. I think it's about 9.5 hours. And the prayer I say goes, "Let me do today as my last day, and at night I will die to sleep. I love you, Shybug and Noam Lev. Do more now, always. Patience, don't eat cake, be kind, be fearful, be ferocious and fearless for what you want and what you believe in." And that is it. Remember, when you continue along your path, at every junction, may it be residency, partnership, dog ownership, remember, follow your personality, follow who you are from the deepest place, and therefore, as is written on my grandmother's gravestone in Houston, Texas, Charlotte Tish, honey, it's going to be beautiful. Kick ass always with whatever you do, and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Goldstein. I am pleased to call upon Lauren Knibbe, representative of the class of 2025, to give the class address.
Hi, everyone. Hello, I'm Lauren. Thank you for having me today. In the always relatable words of J.R.R. Tolkien's Bilbo Baggins, I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. Actually, that's not true. Class of 2025, we are an amazing group of individuals, with accreditations ranging from bachelor's degrees to doctorates, covering a spectrum of topics from neuroscience to theology to toxicology. We bring practical experience from countries all over the world, and I cannot overstate how excited I am to learn from each of you, to find out what new and interesting perspectives or experiences you bring to the table. It has been such a pleasure to start the process of learning your stories. I see a class of driven, compassionate, humble people who care for each other and for the world and people around them. I see medical students who have an insatiable desire to learn and a love of adventure. It takes a special kind of person to move to a new country for the opportunity to learn and practice medicine through the context of culture and social justice. So many of you have dreams like mine, dreams that my whole life have seemed strange and unreachable to those around me. But to quote Ellen Montgomery's Anne of Green Gables, kindred spirits are not so scarce as I used to think. It's splendid to find out there are so many of them in the world. We are participating in something special today and over the course of the next few years. For many of us, our classmates are all that we have. We're each other's support systems, sounding boards, friends, the people we can turn to after a hard time. The community we build now is going to be our safety net in the coming years. How we interact with each other will shape the way we interact with future colleagues and even our patients. In the last few months, I have seen a precedent set, a precedent of compassion and willingness to step up and help each other. You have donated your time, your language skills, your kitchens, and your notes to each other. We are here to succeed, but our successes comes with the success of our classmates, not at the cost of their failure. I would not have made it this far alone, and I will not be able to make it the next 3.5 years without you all. I am excited to learn and grow alongside you. These next few years are going to be the adventure of a lifetime. I cannot wait to see how we will shape and be shaped by each other in our common experiences. Papers, quizzes, Ankis, practice problems, and unexpectedly changing classrooms. Time and time again, I have to remind myself that I have made it here. We are all one step closer to fulfilling our dreams. And I think it is easy to forget how far we have come in the midst of the daily struggles of being a medical student. When people back home ask me how I feel about uprooting my life and moving to the other side of the planet, starting to learn a new language, and starting medical school, I say, I'm fine, it's grand, it's all incredibly easy. No, I say that I have a lot to learn and that the road ahead is going to be hard, but that the absolute highlights of my time here are my classmates. We have chosen challenging paths for ourselves. Medical school is hard. Adjusting to life in a new country is hard. For many of us, learning a new language is hard. But this new life we're leading isn't without its joys. Something I try to do is to treat each small and large joy the same. Baking cookies with my roommates is fantastic. Spending a moment with the wild and rampant cats around Beersheba is a treat. Waiting an absurdly long time for an elevator to arrive to take us to class is a much-needed opportunity to catch your breath when you're running late for your first class of the day. We're learning to be competent and compassionate physicians who can walk with our patients through difficult times and tragic diagnoses. Medical school is challenging, and we're taking on a career where there will be choices with no correct answers. There will be patients who do not get better, and sometimes we will make mistakes. If I could tell you one thing today, it's that you are not alone, and I'm sorry about that. It's that you're not alone, that you do not have to fight alone, and it is okay to not reach perfection every moment of every day. It is okay to take care of yourself. It is okay to acknowledge your brokenness. Not everything can be overcome or fought through. Each one of us has a collection of scars that we carry with us, a collection that we will continue to add to in the coming years. These things do not make us weak. They do not mean we are broken beyond repair. It means that we, like everyone else on this planet, require love and joy and sometimes a break. Medicine is a serious endeavor, but we don't need to take ourselves too seriously in the pursuit of scientific truths. Don't forget that we live in a beautiful world, a world with friendships, freshly baked cookies, asteroid showers, beaches, mountains to climb, and art to admire. Small, beautiful moments are still beautiful moments. In the coming years, pay attention to those things. Let them ground you and remind you that life still has its joy on the dark days, on the hard days. Fortunately, there are also cats all over campus and the hospital waiting around just to brighten your day. Despite the challenges of medicine, of medical school, I hope we can all learn to delight in the experience. As Mr. Rogers once said, as human beings, our job in life is to help people realize how rare and valuable each one of us really is. That each of us has something that no one else has or ever will have. Something inside of us that is unique to all time. So I don't have much advice to give you guys. I'm here at the beginning with each of you, and I am so excited for this adventure and honored to share it with you. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to invite Jack Horton to read the class honor code.
Good evening. All right. The class of 2025 honor code. At the foundation of moral thinking lie beliefs and statements, the truth of which no further reason can be given. The above words of philosopher Alistair MacIntyre suggest that there are values that, without justification, are accepted as good. Certainly, this is true in the world of medicine. Yet amidst the ebbs and flows of scientific progress, the implementation of these values has varied significantly. We take up the delicate endeavor of attempting to embody such ideals within the ever-changing particulars of the hospital. What does humility look like at the bedside? Does the shape of integrity change from medical training to medical practice? What seems to matter most is how values are realized in the day-to-day. Accordingly, we ourselves commit not only to values in the abstract, but to their actualization in the rhythms and nuances of our lives as prospective physicians. We commit to humility. It means more than consulting difficult cases with colleagues. It means more than respecting the patient. Humility encompasses collaboration with the patient, each other, and the communities in which we work. We commit to equity. It is more than equal access to medical care. It is more than treating everyone fairly and equally. Equity involves understanding the social, economic, and political backgrounds that patients come from, listening to their perspectives, and amplifying the voices of advocates. We commit to compassion. Compassion is more than effective communication, such as speaking with patients in their preferred language or delivering diagnoses clearly. Compassion is connecting with patients, meeting them where they're at, and striving to see their hopes and concerns. We commit to integrity. Integrity goes beyond academic honesty and keeping up with the latest literature. Integrity is leading by example and doing what is right, regardless of its difficulty. And we commit to cultural humility. It is more than learning about and appreciating values and beliefs other than our own. Cultural humility entails an ongoing process of self-reflection and continual learning from those around us. Furthermore, we will reject apathy in upholding these values. Before long, we will begin our careers as caretakers and as lifelong leaders in the medical field. And we will have hard days, but we will persevere and will do so, keeping these values at the fore.
Thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the administrative staff at MSIH, and especially to Miri for organizing this evening. We will conclude the ceremony with the singing of Israel's national anthem. It is my pleasure to invite Steffi Pertzovsky to the lead in the singing of Atikva.
כל עוד בלבב פנימה נפש יהודי הומיה ולפתי מזרח קדימה עין לציון צופיה. עוד לא אבדה תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.